right? AIDS Part 2, and they're continuing with Campbell's idea in AIDS. Apparently Bobby Campbell was the first man diagnosed with the AIDS, right? And William Campbell, well-known report Who Murdered Africa, Dr. William Campbell, Douglas, Lass. Yeah. See what I mean? So a lot of quoted about, of course, Campbell being the lying eunuch, basically the crooked mouth, and the eunuch, so lying eunuchs. Here you see the quote about the transmission from non-humans to humans. Of course, like the tea drinkers have quoted where they call non-transes non-humans. See what I mean? They only refer to humans as their own transes. The hive mind, chimpanzees and gorillas, sooty manga bears. Not a query. And as you see here, picture type of thing, like a mock-up picture. False colour scan and electron micrograph, similar to the COVID thing. Very scary and all this. Intended to, create the fear and all that bit. And human immunodeficiency, right? So again, there's a lot of codes for their own tea drinkers and that, and non-tea drinkers originated in non-human primates in Central and West Africa. Subgroup M. Now, obviously, the M's gonna stand for, right? Again, more trans idea and all this. The pan troglodytes, right? World monkey inhabiting southern, a lot of codes, right? And the idea of the transmission, see, like that Dias thing about the podium, about this public speaking, and it's a transmission. So when they're doing all the public speaking and that, they're bringing to light the idea of the trans program, except they're coding it under a profane thing, right? But it's all about the aspect of bringing about their trans program, right? Of course, just like David Furnish, Diana was famous for the HIV and AIDS advocacy. The Di Spencer, the medical idea. And she was always known, the character was always known for hugging and touching the AIDS patients when anyone else would touch them and all this, right? Of course, London Middlesex, right? But known for touching them and all this, but of course because they were all teased out their programs, right? Royal people, right, wouldn't even go near someone who was not a trans like them. See what I'm saying? And as you can see there, in the picture, doing the 777, right? There's your 7, there's your 3 on the hand, doing a 777 code, right? So obviously all in their tea program, right? So whatever was wrong with these particular people, it was to deal with trans-related illness, right? Out their own program. As I said, the royal peoples and that would never touch or go near anyone who was not a fellow trans. See? AIDS terrified the world type of idea, hex. So this was 80s, 1980s, and still going along the same people, basically David Furnish and Elton John, so it's to do with basically the speaking idea, public speaking, and it's crazy, the hex. This is basically backed up by said, right, with no anagram obviously, right? uh, said, told, right, as in told a story, stated, called, it's the same thing as the public speaking idea, right? And that's all it is, like this type of idea of a public campaign, to bring about awareness of something, which is basically our lives and that, you know what I mean? But it's just like a public campaign idea. You know what I mean? Simple as, really. There's like a list of HIV positive, very positive idea, right? Like Jesus, or yes, it's like the positive, this is positive, which is strange, isn't it? For a deadly disease or something, but it's a list of hive mind people, it's a list of people who are in their sort of program, so they're like positive. The hive, they're in the hive type of thing, right? All codes. Course 33 there. Pandemic like COVID. 3/4 of deaths in sub-Saharan Africa. Blood transfusions. And Magic Johnson. And there's got a list of people and load of actors like apparently got it like loads. Basically, it just means they're in their tea program, right? Addicted to their sort of tea drugs and all that, right? And it seems to be like the actual disease, and that seems to be what comes about from being a tea, the way, because obviously they're on these tea drugs all their lives and that, and eventually they get sick in it. The Marlboro man. Of course, Rock Hudson again was the biblical idea of the rock. Before that, all rock was Rock Hudson type of thing. So, countless actors and words. You know what I mean? Dark Rainbow. The Rainbow. Just countless, basically, like. You know what I mean? A few she's there, like. He, she's. Estevez, the estrogen, the she. Paul Sheeno. Stephen Stocker. So, you know what I mean? All these people, like, apparently got the HIV, right? Which is, as I see it, signifies that they're all in the trans program, right? Bobby Campbell. And Bobby spelled in the female way there, like Bobby. I mean, that looks, just like it's, totally set up, doesn't it? You know what I mean? I'm gonna be Bobby's girl. I want to be Bobby's girl with Bobby Hillard. Robert Boyle Campbell. And the crooked mouth. The liars. Here's the East John Street Gay Men's Collective. Again, the John. The John idea, the John the Baptist. And if you remember John the Baptist, he was supposed to be crying out in the wilderness. Right? So a lot of John connected with this public speaking idea of the aids. The mass. There's the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, SPY, or Order of Perpetual Indulgence, URPI. Protestant street performance uses drag and religious imagery to call attention to sexual intolerance and gender. This uses gender and morality, so that's very Masonic like, isn't it? The morality and the gender. Sister Belladonna. Camp. The Camp Bell. Susan Stryker. Nobody's seen over trans, right? Susan Stryker. Trans March San Francisco. So funny how it all comes back to this particular thing, innit? Trans. Trans March, and of course March is number 3, right? A trans March is free, trans free. So you know what it's all about. And of course San Francisco, again, the free idea, and the cis, they free from cis. So they've got the San Francisco as the sort of who are moving a trans march, right? San Francisco. And the Dyke March. And the Compton's cafeteria riot, I've done a video on that. Straight out of Compton. Straight out of Compton, see? Straight out of Compton. Get all the straights out of Compton. Gwen Orodio. East Bay. The Dalit. And the 4 and the 2, the 6, the hex. And then beaten strangled after discovering that she was transgender. Well, that's doubtful, like, isn't it? Michael Magidson. Trans panic. And this is a very interesting here, referred to a dead name. Dead name resurrecting the dead, eh? So the dead name, is the previous name. Very interesting. Resurrect the dead. Going back to that idea of the dais or dias, idea of public speaking, right? Of course, you have the idea that John the Baptist was well involved in public speaking and drawing crowds and that. To listen to what he was talking about or whatever. So John is calling upon his audience, you see. The aids idea. The aids. And that's, this is basically what that aids thing's about. Preaching. A mission, like a transmission, and preaching. See what I'm saying? Of course, the Jordan River idea, the Transjordan. Like a voice crying in the wilderness, see, that basically means speaking to the natural people, see, speaking amongst the naturals, giving the message.